Hello and welcome back to Studio 6 for another edition of Cronkite Sports Live. I'm Sammy Miller alongside Kevin Malater. Now, Kevin, I know last weekend was a doozy in the Valley with Super Bowl 57 and WM Phoenix Open, but this weekend is all about the Sun Devils. We have men's and women's hoops, baseball, softball, hockey, wrestling, and gymnastics. Kevin, I'm getting tired just listing them all.
Hey, I feel you, Sammy, but for me, this is the best time of year. March Madness just around the corner, and today, college baseball makes its return across America.
Kevin, I'm so excited to see these Sun Devils back on the diamond, and for more on that to show us who we should be expecting tonight, we bring you Sammy New. Now let's shift our focus back to ASU men's hoops. Now they were back in town after taking down the Bay Area schools last weekend on the road, and it is crunch time as the regular season winds down. Colorado visited Tempe last night, and this one was extremely competitive. KJ Simpson Jr. getting it done with the aggressive burst to the rack. And the last time these two teams met, it was ASU sparking a comeback, but this time it was punch for punch. Jemiah Neal goes coast to coast there, and he says, "Get out of my way," leading to a 32-29 Sun Devil lead late in that first half. And it would get fiery. This guy right here, KJ Simpson Jr., time expiring at the half, but he knocks it down. Splash. Absolutely cold-blooded. ASU, however, came out of the first half with some intensity. Frankie Collins, the little guy, showing off the bunnies to put ASU up 38-34. And hey, I know that guy. James Harden in the building last night to check in on his alma mater, dapping up Mr. Ray Anderson right there. And the Beard was there to see this slugfest. It was a battle until the last 5 minutes. Now, Colorado got hot, while ASU cooled down. The Buffaloes were making it rain from downtown, leading to a 17-3 scoring run to close out the game. And the Sun Devils so desperate for each and every win, but were unable to get it done. The Buffs win this time 67-59. Here's what head coach Bobby Hurley had to say following the game. Now the road ahead is anything but easy for these Sun Devils. They're not only fighting for a spot in the tournament, but tomorrow they are honoring their seniors in their last home game of the season against Utah. Then they will head down south to take on their rivals, number 8 Arizona. And to close out the regular season, ASU will travel to the City of Angels for tough matchups against number 4 UCLA and USC. Now, of course, this show is called Cronkite Sports Live for a reason. We talk about ASU athletics, but it's always an important reminder that some things are bigger than sports. For Berlin Jensen, her dreams came true on Valentine's Day, finally becoming an honorary member of Sun Devil Gymnastics. Our Janae Bradford has more on Jensen's inspiring fight through cystic fibrosis. Very incredible story there from Janae, so thank you so much for that. Moving on now to Sun Devil women's basketball, who just finished up their game this morning against number 21 Colorado and remains winless in Pac-12 play, losing 70-62. Our Dylan Wickman has been tracking the team all season long and has some insight as to why they've been struggling in this edition of By the Numbers. The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star. You know how the rest of the song goes. Every college basketball fan knows. One shining moment, the soundtrack to the anthem of March. Every player and every coach dreams of making it to the biggest stage. Bobby Hurley and his squad are no different. The last time the Sun Devils made it to the Madness was in 2019. So needless to say, they are hungry to make it back to one of the most exciting tournaments across all sports. But before I go on, let's travel back a few months. ASU had one of their best starts in program history, going 11-1, including huge wins over Michigan, VCU, and Creighton, leading to a top 25 ranking. At that time, a March Madness appearance was a lock, but that was 3 months ago. The Sun Devils are now 18-9, losing 6 of their last 10 games. What seemed to be a certain postseason dance is now turning into a desperate dash to March. 4 games remaining before heading to Las Vegas for the Pac-12 tournament. The next 3 weeks will decide their fate. Now, they can't go back in the past, but they can focus on winning 1 game at a time. That will and want to win goes far beyond just Bobby Hurley and his team. ASU is dying to have a successful squad that they can get fully behind, And this right here is their best chance. Now, don't get me wrong. Utah, Arizona, UCLA, and USC are no easy feats, and now they will have to make a serious run in the Sin City. But maybe, just maybe, their gritty underdog mentality might just be enough to get it done and punch a ticket into the big dance. And that's the way it is.
And that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Cronkite Sports Live. But before we send it off, there's someone special we need to thank.
Our former faculty advisor and friend, Mark Rita, is retiring after a decorated career in sports broadcasting.
Definitely one of Cronkite's greatest instructors and a mentor to so many of us, including myself and Sammy. And we felt that it's only right for us to congratulate him and thank him for all that he's done for not only us here at WCSN, but for the entire Cronkite school.
And the mark of a great teacher is what their students go on to do without them. And although everyone who ever worked with you will miss the faint sound of you humming Billy Joel under your breath and the way that signature rose cheek smile made us feel after a job well done, you deserve this. And we hope you enjoy playing 18 holes because you woke up in the morning and decided that's how you wanted to spend the day. While you do that, we will keep working, lifted up by the legacy you left behind and all that you taught us. Not just about a good broadcast, but being good people. What we build is what you built.
And Mark, it turns out you built a winner. We are pleased to announce today that CSL has been named the nation's best students video sports news program by the Broadcast Education Association for 2023, an accomplishment that speaks as much about us as it does about you, Mark.
And it wouldn't be possible without Mark Rita inspiring so many of us from the day we stepped into Cronkite, and of course, every single person involved in our club who puts in so much work into this show.
It really is special what we've got going on here. So on behalf of Sammy Miller and every single person in the studio and the control room, I'm Kevin Milliter. We'll see you next week in Studio 6 for another edition of Cronkite Sports Live.